So, good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday to you. I'm actually looking out my door at pouring down rain this morning. So, it makes the lighting a little bit difficult. I do have my photo lights on, excuse me, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not the greatest when it comes to trying to figure out lighting. In fact, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to lighting. I have literally switched my um, lights, from one side to the other, and I've just been doing crazy things with them, and I just still feel like the lighting is still like totally off. But anyhow, I can't waste my whole day trying to figure out the lighting. So yeah, so you know by the title of the video that it is Sunday morning chit chat. And I am so sorry, but I suffer from severe allergies, and this weather is not doing me justice. Therefore, I will probably sound like a frog throughout most of the video, and you will hear me clearing my throat throughout most of the video. But unfortunately, I gotta do what I gotta do. Okay, so this morning topic is well, you know what? First of all, go grab yourself a cup of coffee, tea, whatever you so choose, because it could be like evening when you watch this video. And if that's the case, you may want a glass of wine or a rum and coke. I don't know. Maybe a cold beer. Who knows? But, or maybe just a plain old Coke, iced tea, whatever it floats your boat. But I'm filming the video early morning, so I am having, nah, it's not really Starbucks. Actually, since I am no longer doing my part-time job, I still have to have my Starbucks caramel macchiato every night. I mean, well, every Saturday night. So last night was no exception. I went and got one, but I didn't quite finish it. I had like this much left in the cup. And that stuff is so good, and Starbucks is so expensive. So what I did was I decided to just set it in the refrigerator. And this morning I mixed my own coffee that I brewed in my little Keurig. Do I say that right? I think every time I say it, I feel like I'm Keurig. Keurig, I think is how you say it. I don't know. For some reason, my mouth don't like form properly when I come to saying that particular word. But if I'm saying it wrong, forgive me. I'm so, so sorry. But I like stuck one of my little things in there, and I poured me some more cinnamon in there, and mixed a little bit of Splenda and some more of my own half and half cream, and came up with my own concoction. So, and I just poured it over into the Starbucks little bit of coffee or caramel macchiato that I already had. So I'm slightly perpetrating this morning. I didn't get up and race over to Starbucks and grab myself another Starbucks. So that being said, we got that out of the way. So you don't have to think like, oh my God, she got up and went to have Starbucks early this morning. I didn't. But anyhow, enough of that chit chat, because the real chit chat is about to come. So, because I'm not working my part-time job anymore, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to have these great topics to talk to you about. And especially since I haven't done one in forever, you're probably thinking, well, duh. Well, I know I haven't, and I still have all the stories in my head in my journal, because I do keep a journal. I have kept a journal since I first started doing the whole restroom hostessing, so to speak, to to put it on a little professional level terms or sound or whatever. But I started keeping a journal because the stories were just so fascinating to me, the things that I came across. And I actually do plan to write a book about it. I know that sounds kind of like, whatever, but I do. I really want to write a book about it, because it's the more I think about it, the more serious I feel about it. You know what I mean? I think all the things that people go through, and all the hype or the negativity, kind of like both. You get hype, you get negativity, you get all of this. And because there's so much conversation about going to clubs and young people partying and old people partying, because, if the young people party, then, they're bad because they're, underage drinking, and they're out there doing God knows what else. And then if you're like my age, You're freaking trying to act like a teenager. You're out in those clubs partying all the time. But people don't really know like why some people go to the club. Okay, so yeah, some people do just that. They're old and they're wanting to party and whatever, act like they're 21. And some people are 21 and they're out there, drinking and having a good time and living dangerously. Yes, all of that applies. So I'm not here to try to like say that none of that ever happens, because it does. But I really, like my whole reasoning for doing the book is because I have learned a lot of things. And I'm going to turn my necklace a little bit. But I too have learned a lot of things about just the whole why people go out. And not that I ever judge, because I am truly a person that do not judge. And that's probably why people just come up to me and start talking. But I don't judge one way or the other. I could care less about what you do personally, because it doesn't affect me personally. As long as you don't like step on my little circle, we're good. I am not going to be that person that's gonna, judge you or tell you what you're doing is wrong, because who am I? Far from perfect, I can tell you that. But anyway, so all of that being said, basically I'm saying all of that crap just to tell you that I will continue to do these videos, and I actually probably will do them more frequent now, because I'm not as tired and on Sunday mornings, and I can get up before church or do them right after church. I'm probably going to try to do them like right after church, or maybe right before church, because like I kind of like the whole atmosphere of being comfortable. Like right now I have on, like, this is really, I purchased this at Target the other day, like in the clearance section, $5 for the top, $5 for the bottom. And it's loungewear. It looks like a sweatsuit. It's cream, so it's probably not like the best thing to have in the camera, but like it's like they literally look like sweats. Like if you look at see like the ankle, oh, I see my toesies. But yeah, like they really look like sweats, and they're super comfortable. So I think I really like that whole vibe of having like the coffee. And if I go to church first and then come back and film, I'm like already made up and everything. So I don't really want to do that. So and I may start doing them on Saturday nights even, maybe, just so that I can have it uploaded first thing Sunday morning. That would be ideal. That really would be ideal. So maybe I should do that. I don't know. But anyhow, so today's topic is one that I kind of touched bases on with someone at the club, but more so this one is actually inspired by a coworker. Where I work, I have two levels of, or two offices that we kind of correspond and we work together, but we're in two separate buildings and blah, blah, blah. So there is a lady that works in the other building that we actually used to work in the same building together. And, but they moved into their own separate building. But when she first came to work for us at the place that I work at, she and I kind of hit it off. She's an older lady. When I say older, she's in her 60s. She belongs to the 60 plus club. And she's a beautiful person inside and out. I mean, she's a true replica of inner to outer beauty. Like she has that inner beauty that makes her outer beauty just shine. And so when I first met her, we kind of like, we hit it off really well. And we were able to like really conversate about a lot of like serious things. And I almost felt like, not that, well, I guess maybe she could be my mom, because depending on how old she was when she had me. But, she just, I don't know. I am very drawn to wisdom. Like, and so older people have wisdom. And so the knowledge that they store inside is just, oh my God, it's amazing. And so for me, just talking to her sometimes, just, I just like retain so much knowledge about crazy things, just about life, So I was able to ask her a lot of crazy questions and different things. But this particular topic came about when my son and my daughter-in-law found out they were pregnant, and we were first able to, like share the love of, I'm going to be a grandma. And she was so excited for me because she knew that I was excited. But at the same time, there was like a sadness about her. And I was like, hey, what's up with, like I feel that there's something you want to say, and I don't know what it is. And so then she shared with me her story. Now, for starters, she is, like I said, she's belonging to the 60 plus club. So, her children are obviously grown at this point. She raised 7 boys as a single mom about 80% of the time. She is on her 3rd marriage, and her boys are from 2 separate marriages, none from the 3rd marriage that she's in. But she, so she wanted to like just, I guess, not rain on my parade, or I guess maybe honestly, you know what it is? I think that was her way of venting, her way of telling me how she felt, or something that she was going through. Like maybe I could, turn around at this point and offer her something good back in turn, an ear for listening, or maybe, I don't know. But she shared with me the story and it literally made me cry. And even thinking about it right now, like I could seriously cry because I really, really like this lady. Like I think she's amazing. And the thought that she deals with this, like almost every day of her life is it's just sad. But so she was telling me that, having raised seven boys, well, first, she kind of said something to me, like she said, well, I hope that you're able to see your grandchild, because at this point we didn't know if it was going to be a grandson or granddaughter. But she said, yeah, see, like, my eyes are seriously tearing right now, like they're seriously tearing, and I think my camera's gonna die. Oh my god, why? What's going on? Oh, there it goes. Ah! Okay, brief intermission there. Sorry about that. It wasn't plugged in. Dang, Sheila, get it together. But anyway, so she shared with me. I gotta have a sip of the coffee because my throat is really trying to like get bad on me here right now, and I don't want that to happen. But anyway, so she said to me that I hope that you're able to spend time with your grandson and you don't lose that sacred relationship that you have with your son. And I'm looking at her like, what the heck are you talking about? Because what's the story that she shared with me, I honestly had never, ever, ever even thought about this. I don't know. I just, and now since she shared that story with me, I've heard other people, maybe it's because now I'm paying more attention. I don't know. But now it's like, oh wow, other people deal with this. So I really needed to I needed to talk about this. So anyhow, so she shared the story with me about, that she, she's, after she tells me that she hopes I don't lose the relationship and all this good stuff. And then she tells me, she says, I raised seven boys and I love my boys. I did so much to take care of my boys. Like, and that is another whole video within itself, like the things that you will do as a single mother to provide for your children. And not everyone will like it, not like it, who cares? But the point of it is that your children need to eat. And I'm not saying like she did some like hellacious things, but I'm just saying, like, people can be so judgmental out there, and they will judge you and they will, condemn you and all this good stuff. But again, that's all another video. The story that she shared with me was that when each of her boys, and I think she has one that has never married, but and like one or two that may have been married, divorced, and got remarried. I don't know, but anyhow, but the main point of that story is that when her boys got married, they kind of went off to Never Never Land. They kind of went to the wife's family. And so here's this woman who luckily do have a man in her life now because she's remarried. I honestly don't know if she was remarried. Probably not when they actually started leaving and getting married, because I think she's only been married to this guy like maybe 10 years or something. So, but anyway, this mother who raised the seven boys, all of a sudden she was finding herself without her boys' love. And I say that I'm not saying that they literally didn't love her, but that contact, that it wasn't there anymore. And they were providing and giving all of this attention to their wives. Okay, so now you're going to say to me, well, you are to forsake your family and cling only to your wife, forsake all others actually, and cling only to your wife. Yes, but you never forget the woman who carried you for 9 months, labored you, gave you life, birthed you into this world. You never forget that person. You never put her on the back burner. Now, on the same flip side of that, she should never interfere with your marriage or like to try to come between you and your wife. But you should figure out a way that there is time for your mother and time for your wife. And your wife should understand that. But for her, it was as if, like, when they got married, the wife side of the family took over. He became their family, and she was lost in the shuffle. So that being said, when the grandkids came about, she had no relationship with them. And I kid you not, like her story just, I mean, 7 boys and I think 11 grandchildren. And like literally, like the holidays would come and she would go and buy gifts for these kids, these grandkids, and like the gifts are still sitting in her house. They like for 3 or 4 months after the holiday because they don't come over. And the wives are like, some of them are like mean to her, and like it's just, it's insane. So I guess so when she said to me she hoped that my life didn't turn out that way, or my story wasn't going to be her story, my first thought was, oh my God, like I've been so close to my son because I raised my son since he was 9 as a single parent until he was in the 12th grade. Well, he was graduated before I really got married, so through high school. But and I value our relationship. I don't take it for granted, and I guess this might be the one thing that might make me a little bit different, um, because I have always, like, I've been told by people sometimes that I put my son on a pedestal and that I see him as being perfect and do no wrong. Well, see, and that's quite the opposite because I do not put my son on a pedestal. I'll be the first one to tell you I've had to get all up in his face, so to speak. I've been hurt, like, he's done all the normal things that growing up that teenagers did. I've cried over things that he's done. Maybe not to the magnitude of some other children, but he's done things, and he will. I mean, there are things that he's done that I like. I'm like, dude, why are you? What is wrong? Why is my child doing these? Like, my child is, but he's just human, and he grew up in a different age uh, from me. So a lot of things like with the internet and social media, he had more at his fingertips as a teenager than I did as a teenager. So a lot of things that I did growing up seem so minute to the things that he did growing up. So first and foremost, I will tell anybody, please don't ever think I put my son on a pedestal, because I'm a realist and I know that he's human and he's going to make mistakes, or he's going to disappoint me. And it may or may not be a mistake in his mind, but he's going to disappoint me because he's human. So I told her, I said, well, I'm going to hope and pray that that never happens between me and my son, only because I love him so much. And I can't even imagine, it's one thing, he's in the military, so he's abroad and traveling and doing things, that's one thing. So I know that I can't see him, like, he's not going to come over for Sunday dinner when he lives in another state, but, he is getting out of the military. So I do think now, like, okay, well, Sunday dinner sometimes, or, I'm hoping to have that. I haven't had that before, but I wasn't able to have it because, like I said, he's military. But her sharing her story with me on, like, just in general, like how sad and how heartbroken, and how, like, some of her grandkids are like basically grown now, like they're in their upper teens, or fresh out of high school and early college, I believe. But that she has no relationship with these kids. Like, there's one granddaughter, I think, that has a child herself, and I think kind of like she got pregnant out of wedlock, and maybe the family kind of shone on her a little bit. So grandma, because grandma loves her babies, and then she loves her grandbabies no matter what. And because really and truly, it's not the grandbaby's fault, it's the parents' fault that would intervene. I blame, in her case, like the daughter-in-laws, like, how dare you pull your husband away from his family and think that only your family is the important family. Like, I don't even understand, because I don't understand what goes through a person's mind to even think that's even halfway okay. But so it's not the grandchild's fault that she doesn't know her grandmother. So that being said, I mean, straight up forward, I'm going to say that it is truly the son's fault and the son's wife fault that kept the grandchild away from the grandmother. But then again, I say, well, once the kids get older and they have vehicles, but then if the relationship wasn't established as children, where they actually know this person, it's like I mean, it's like a stranger. I do have an incident, and it's funny because I just thought about something, and I guess now that, oh wow, that's weird. Like I just truly had like an aha moment. I do have a situation in my family, and I guess I didn't think about it like that. I don't know. Wow. Okay. And I really don't want to talk about that right now. I'll maybe make another video about that one, but because I'm really kind of focusing on this. But anyhow, like with her situation, I I tried my best to understand. I tried to console her. I felt really bad. And so I told her, I said, well, you know what? I said, and she mentioned something to me, and I kind of hesitate to say this, but I guess it's kind of important. This was coming from her. It wasn't coming from me. She mentioned, oh my God, there is a golfer with a huge umbrella and it's pouring down raining. It's crazy to me because in San Antonio, we freaking don't hardly, I mean, we're in like this rainy thing right now, but like we hardly ever get rain. And, even like when the weather's like super cold, like it amazes me. I'm sorry, I'm going on another whole rant right now, but it amazes me at how people act like these golfers out here. Like it can be like the one day of the year that it gets to 20, and the high is like 20 degrees, and you see golfers all wrapped up and golfing, and like right now, I'm like, it's pouring down raining. And like, there's a golfer that just went by. Like, okay, dude, you will have like literally probably, 275 days out of the year that you can golf. You could possibly golf and not be like golfing in the rain or cold. But maybe it's kind of like one of those things where people just want to experience it because they see like other people doing it in other states because they don't have a choice. Like if they really want to golf, they have to go out on a rainy day or they have to go out on a cold, icy, icky day or something. So I don't know. But anyhow, that was another whole rant. And I'm so sorry for like totally changing the subject. But when I saw that, it just kind of like caught me off guard. I was like, oh my God, there's a golfer going down the golf course. Like, seriously? But anyhow, getting back to our topic of conversation. Yeah. So, I do have a situation like that in my own personal life, but wow. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so I told her, I said, oh, I'm sorry. What I was actually talking about was the whole cultural thing. Now, she mentioned to me that it is kind of a cultural thing, so she kind of knew to expect it. And I don't remember if she said like, and I think she didn't do it like so much with her kids, mainly because she didn't stay married to the husband, probably, I guess. But she was very close to her mother before her mother passed away. So her kids did have that relationship with her mom. Maybe more so than the husband's parents. I don't really know, honestly, because I don't know if we talked about that. But anyway, I know that she was divorced from the two men. So maybe not as much. I'm thinking, I don't know for sure. But um, she kind of expected it, which was, I mean, like that's sad that you expect that, like the whole story or the thought behind, like you lose a son, but you gain a daughter-in-law, like you lose him forever. Like I don't understand that. So I guess in a sense she was expecting it, and like in her own words, she said it's a cultural thing. Well, I'm gonna say that culture sucks, or and I probably shouldn't say that because now someone's gonna be like I'm prejudiced or something, but I'm not. Like, I mean, some things are meant to be broken. It's kind of like when I raised my son, and I don't won't call this a cultural thing, but like I have a lot of I mean, I'm a black person, so um, I have talk with other women that they make the comment, or they're tired of the black man being the way he is, and blah blah blah. And so I don't even call it, like, I personally wouldn't call it like a racial like thing, like it's based on a race. I'm gonna say it's just based in general. But I'm saying that because that's what my friends would say to me, like, I'm looking for this good black man. And but then it's funny because when I found myself raising my son alone, I sat down one day and I said to myself, I hear this all the time from like my fellow friends and my, coworkers and different people that I come in contact with. How am I going to like cut that line? How am I going to make this totally different? So what I did was I went against all odds. Like I said, you know what? Because my friends would say this, and then they would say that they needed a black man or a man in their lives to raise their son. But then they were complaining about the men. So I said, well, why are you asking a man to like help you raise your son, or give your son like that, that chest hug or whatever, or what do you call it? Not chest hug, chest pump or whatever, like to validate him being a man. You can do it yourself. Now, am I saying that, everyone should raise their sons alone and they don't ever need a man in their lives? And no, 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 I'm not saying all that. So don't misunderstand. But what I'm saying and what I did was I thought, you know what? I am tired of the way, and I personally, I don't call it a black thing. I say I'm just personally just disgusted with some of the things that men in the past have done and gotten away with. And so my whole thought was, I'm changing the cycle. I'm going to make my son, I'm going to raise him a certain way, and I can't make him do anything, but I'm going to raise him a certain way. So that's what I did. I raised him to be the perfect husband for me. Does that make sense? Like, I thought about all the things that bother me, that men do, that hurt me, that men do, the things, the neglect, the negativity, the I'm not feeling the love, all of those things. And I put in full force putting that into my son as he was growing into a young man. I taught him, like I talked to him, and this is, like seriously, I talked to him about the female, the ups and downs, the woes and woes of us, like how we are figured on the inside. And so, like, when we are having our monthly visitor, like the emotions that we go through, like as a man, how you can help. And so, as a young boy, my son could recognize when I wasn't, and he would accommodate me in a form like he was able to relate to me. So, in turn, when he now has a wife, he's able to relate to that. Am I making any sense here? I hope I am. And I hope this didn't come across like the wrong way. I want my son to be like my husband or anything. But what I'm saying is that I wanted him to be that man, the type of man that I would want as my own husband. And so not another man, not, I didn't send him off to some kind of boys camp to learn how to be a man. I put forth that effort. It took a little bit of effort. It took me having to like really be open about a lot of things. I talked to him about marriage, divorce. Like I literally like just gave him things like flat out, like this is how it is. And maybe it was too much, for some people but I gave it to him on levels that he could comprehend as a child. I didn't like sit there and like pour out like, oh, this and this and this. I mean, we talked about sex openly. Like, do you have sex before marriage? I was real with him. So throughout all of that, so when I say all of this, because I just kind of went like on a total other rant, but I I'm hoping, like I told her, like I'm hoping that we as women, if this is really happening all the time, or like even in your cultural thing, as you put it, that we can put a stop to this. Like like maybe, if one of us, like, so I'm saying to you to hope that like if you are a daughter-in-law and you're listening to this video, and that you're experiencing the same thing, like that you've kind of like done that to your mother-in-law, like you kind of pulled your husband totally away from him, you're not including him you're not making those visits to her, and then you have children, and then the children aren't being a part of your husband's family, hey, you can stop it right now. Like you can totally stop it. Like you can change the cycle. You can make it to where from right here and there, your little situation, that your boys aren't going to grow up to be that way. So I hope that if anyone is listening to this video, that they will take that into consideration. Now, in my dear friend's case, I don't want to say it's too late, because I still, every day when I see her, when she comes over to our office, I'll ask her, did you talk to your sons, or any given one, or and most of the time it's no. She has a couple of them that literally sneaks to come and see her. It blows my mind. But yeah, like seriously, like he will call her and say, he was headed to the store, and can I stop by? that is so sad. Like it's just, oh, but I don't know. Like I said, and I because like I said, I did realize that I do have a similar situation that's somewhere within my family chain, and I guess I didn't really think about it until like it just hit me like literally just now, like the significance of it, I guess. And so I'm saying that to say that I guess it happens everywhere, and I guess I really wasn't paying attention to like how it happens. But my son is getting ready to move back to San Antonio. He's getting out of the military. My daughter-in-law, my grandson are here. I don't know. Like I pray to God that I don't that doesn't become my life as well. And I know my coworker, she she shares with me, and she says to me, and that she hopes from the bottom of her heart that I don't have to deal with what she deals with. And so yeah, I guess basically my thing is that I guess, and because I in my, even at the club I had a young lady that shared like a similar circumstance with me, that I guess she and her husband were actually having problems, because I think he was kind of trying to like he was trying to pull her a little bit more to his family, like, well, we have to do the 50-50 thing, like, we can't just be at your parents' house for Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, every holiday. Like, I have a family also. And she didn't get it. And I remember looking at her and saying, "Excuse me, but do you know, if it wasn't for the woman that carried your son, your husband, for the 9 months and gave him birth and gave him life, and it, took care of him and raised him to be the husband that you love and love dearly so much, and like, so I'm sorry, but why aren't you respecting this woman? Why don't you think she should have rights to be with your grandson, with her grandson, daughter, whatever? I don't even remember what she had, but or I think she actually had a boy and a girl. But anyway, but I'm just saying, like, and she looked at me and I was like, "I'm sorry." I said, "But that's not right. Like, you do need to listen to your husband, because he does have a family, be it big, be it small, be them poor, be them rich, be them, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter, because we are all not perfect. We are all flawed. We are all like, because her family, I can guarantee, got a whole lot of skeletons in the closet, skeletons in the ceiling, skeletons in the closet, skeletons laying on the ground. So do not come up to me saying that, oh, well, but, because she was like, well, like his mother, like, she parties a lot. And girl, where are you at right now? You're talking to me from a club. Hello. So I'm like, and she kind of like, and she looked at me at the end and she said, "You know what? You kept it real, and I appreciate that." And I said, "Yeah, I did. I kept it real, real." So, and I think because I had already heard my coworker's story, that when she shared that with me, it like totally like lit a fuse inside me. So I know it's happening. So I guess what I'm trying to say right now is, if you are the mother, because I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the kind of mother I am. If the situation was reversed and my son was like, clinging only to me, and like, hanging around with me with my grandson, and not like, including his like, not including his wife's family in, or not making an effort to make sure his wife spent time with her family, I'd nip that in the butt so quick. I'd be like, "Oh no, son, let me tell you one thing. You have you have now a mother, and you have an in-law mother. You have a father, and you have an in-law father, and you have, in my case, my son only has half brothers, because I don't have any other children with my son's father. But you get where I'm going with this. So you are going to splint your time, splint, spend your time. You're gonna figure out to do it. And I don't mean like where you got to sit there and you measure, okay, I spent 3 hours and 14 minutes with blah, blah, blah. So now I have to spend 3 hours and 14 minutes. No, I don't mean it like that. But I mean, you get what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna make it fair. Like, I would be in my son's face so much about something like that. I would never allow it to happen, because I know I'm not the only one. Like, I don't understand how one can think that. And then, so now if you are the in-law person and you're guilty of that, stop it. Stop it right now. Stop and think about what you're doing to you, not only to your family, because you're making a bad situation grow. Like, you're doing your grandchildren a disjustice, and you are, it's just not right. Like, I mean, there is enough love. Like, your grandchildren can love more than one grandma or grandpa. So stop it. Like, literally stop it. Go to your daughter, or if it's the case where it's the son, go to your son and say, look, you know, you know, go, go. You know, you have another set of family out there. I will be here. You know, we can love and get along. And I know there's so many cases where in-laws don't necessarily like each other because, you know, you're talking about two worlds, two different people that put together a family and now they share all this other family. So I'm not saying everybody got to be best friends because obviously that's not going to always be the case, but you need to get along. I mean, you know, I mean, like you need to get along because you share a common bond. So, make some incidences where, you know, like, hey, we're going to all meet at the park on, you know, Sunday after church, and it's going to be both sides, and they're going to watch the grandchildren play in the park, and maybe get to know each other, because you may find that once you get to know each other that you have more in common than you think. So make an effort. And if you're the son who has walked away from the mother, or who has, and my phone is like kind of going off over there. Oh, I'm getting some coupons from JC Penney's and Groupon. All right. But yeah, so like if you're the son that has shunned his mother a little bit, or and maybe you don't even realize it, and maybe you won't realize it until you actually see this video. So if you are the person that's done that, and or you know, you've done that, thinking here, stop it. You know, call your mom right now. Tell her, you know, mom, I watched this crazy lady on YouTube, and she brought something to my attention that I didn't realize I was doing, or I just want to say I'm sorry, because I can tell you right now, because the mother's heart, I'm a mother, and there is nothing that my son will ever do to me that I won't forgive. I can be mad as hell at him, but I won't ever not forgive him, because I carried him for 9 months. I gave him life. I, you know, I love him, and I know he's not perfect, and I know he will make mistakes. So go to your mother, go to your father, even if it's your father, whoever you have shunned, or, you know, and tell them you're sorry and make a change. Get that grandchild involved. Make that grandchild know grandma, grandpa on both sides of the family. Know the crazy uncle with the no teeth in his head that's an alcoholic. Because you know what? Regardless, that is that child's family. Like, I'm sorry. Family is family, and I have those in my family. I'm the first one. I'll tell you, hey, you be my family. I got all kinds. I've got the alcoholics. I've got the deadbeats. I've got the, you name it. I got it. I got cousins in prison. I got, you know, I have cousins that I have a cousin that I learned not too long ago that's a rapist. I have, you know, I have everything in my family because I'm human. And I know that everyone else does too. Maybe not every single thing, but we all got craziness in our family. And I'm not saying you got to take the kid over to the prison, the grandkid, and be like, oh, here's your cousin. I'm just saying that in life, you will come across all kinds of people. You cannot protect your children from the world. They live in the world. The world is where they need to grow and learn and function. And my tummy's growling. So don't think that because that you're trying to protect your child, you're doing your child some kind of justice by, oh, well, I can't take my child over to my mother's house because she likes to party, or she has a boyfriend, or she had an affair, or she did whatever. I don't care, because it's still your mother, and that's still your child's grandparent. And it is what it is, folks, because guess what? He who is perfect must cast the first stone. Did I say that right? I don't know if I did or not, but you know what I'm saying. So don't don't get yourself all wrapped up into that. Don't mistake, and don't do that. Just don't. It's just, oh my God, my thoughts that are running through my head right now, because it's seriously like, when my coworker tells me her stories, and after every holiday, I'm hoping that I'm going to hear from her that it was a great um, that it was a great experience. And I have not heard that from her yet, but she keeps on trying. She keeps on buying presents, and she gets them to them whenever she gets them to them. So, I don't know. That situation, I wait for the day that all of that's going to change. I wait for that cycle to be broken within her own family. if for whatever reason she ever sees this video, you know I love you. I used your story on YouTube. I didn't call any names. I didn't, and someone may from your family may watch this video and be able to figure it out. And if so, I apologize for putting your family out there, but I use no names. But you know what? If you figured it out, excuse me, you know it's you, and you know you need to rectify the situation. That's all I got to say about it. So again, if you're that person, make a change, no matter which end of the spectrum you come from, which end of the family cycle you're on. Make a change. Make a change. Stop the cycle, because there's enough love for every grandchild, every son-in-law, every daughter-in-law. There is enough love from both sides of the family. So on that note, I am going to go ahead and part with you all this morning. I have spent like 40 minutes jabbing. So Lord knows this video is going to take forever and a day to upload, but that's okay, because that's the whole point of this is Sunday morning chat. We need to have time to, chat and talk about this. So, yeah, so anyhow, have a fantastic Sunday. I do plan to take a shower, get a little cleaned up, so the next time you see me on camera, which will be probably a little bit from now, but yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit, better looking, because I do have another video that I want to film this morning. I'm pretty excited about filming it. Yeah, I'll probably film it in about an hour or so. But anyhow, have a fantastic day. I love you. Remember, your inner beauty reflects your outer beauty. So make sure that you're not just focused on your outer beauty, that you reach down inside to that inner beauty and you pull it out so that it can be seen and it can be heard and it can be shared with the world. Have a fantastic day. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And I know I may get some hate mail from this video, and that's okay. My tummy is totally growling. So I am going to bid you all a farewell right now, and I cannot find my little stuff. Bye.